Picture a blindingly hot afternoon on the East African savannah. A zebra stands motionless beneath the acacia trees, weighed down by something invisible to the naked eye. Beneath its zebra-striped coat, thousands of microscopic jaws are locked onto its flesh. Ticks, swelling with blood, transmitting deadly blood-borne parasites and turning every waking moment for the zebra into an excruciating slow-motion nightmare. An infection here isn't just an annoyance. It causes severe anemia, open festering sores, and lethal weakness that invites the jaws of waiting lion prides. The zebra tries to scrape against coarse tree bark, but it cannot reach the soft tissue beneath its belly or around its tail. It is being eaten alive from the outside in. Then, the zebra does something entirely counterintuitive. Instead of heading toward a dry dust pit to roll away the parasites, it plows directly into a mud-choked, stagnant river. Waiting beneath the murky surface is a school of tiny, razor-toothed cichlids and cleaner fish no larger than a human finger. To a zebra, a river full of fish should offer zero relief. But as the zebra steps chest-deep into the silt, it freezes. It lowers its guard, holding perfectly still in the current. Within seconds, hundreds of tiny aquatic scavengers swarm the massive mammal. They pick through its water-softened hide, darting into the folds of its skin, plucking every single engorged tick directly from the flesh with surgical precision. How can a tiny fish, possessing a brain the size of a seed, rescue a 700-pound herbivore from parasitic destruction? The answer lies in one of the most sophisticated, brutal, and finely tuned survival packs ever forged by evolution. To understand the sheer necessity of this relationship, you have to realize that parasites are the true rulers of the African wilderness. A single zebra can harbor thousands of ticks at the peak of the dry season. These bloodsuckers don't merely drain vital fluids, they inject toxins that cause tissue necrosis and spread diseases like African horse sickness. When the itch becomes unbearable, zebras bite their own hides until they bleed, creating open wounds that attract blowflies and flesh-eating maggots. In the wild, a severe tick infestation is a death sentence handed out in agonizing installments. On land, the zebra's primary line of defense is usually the oxpecker, a bird famous for riding the backs of big game and pecking out parasites. But oxpeckers are notorious double agents. When ticks are scarce, those very same birds will keep a mammal's wounds open, drinking their blood directly. The zebra needs an ally that doesn't betray it. It finds that ally beneath the waterline. When zebras wade into rivers or water holes to drink, they enter a dangerous predator-dense zone. Nile crocodiles lurk in these same shadows, waiting for a single misstep. Entering the water is an immense risk, yet the relief provided by aquatic cleaners is so vital that zebras deliberately spend prolonged periods submerged in shallow riverbanks. The moment the zebra enters the shallows, the water's edge erupts with subtle movement. Small species of fish, including specialized cichlids and labio species, detect the massive disruption in the water. They don't see a terrifying land mammal. They see a floating, all-you-can-eat buffet. The process is methodical. The water softens the hardened chitinous shells of the engorged ticks and relaxes the zebra's skin. The fish move in, using specialized comb-like teeth to gently grip the ticks attached to the zebra's hide. With quick, rhythmic tugs, they pull the parasites free without tearing the host's skin. They clean the zebra's legs, its belly, its neck, and even the sensitive skin surrounding its tail, areas completely inaccessible to the zebra's own mouth or tail swishes. For the fish, this isn't acts of mercy. It is high-calorie survival. Ticks packed with mammalian blood represent an exceptionally dense source of protein and fats that these small fish could never hunt on their own in open water. For the zebra, it is an immediate biological release. The intense inflammation cools down, the source of disease transmission is ripped away, and the open sores are cleared of decaying tissue, preventing life-threatening bacterial infections. This unusual inter-realm symbiosis relies on a delicate language of trust. Zebras are notoriously twitchy, reactive prey animals. A sudden movement or splash usually triggers an instant stampede response. But standing in the cleaning station, the zebra enters a near-trance state. It suppresses its reflex to kick or bolt, understanding at an instinctual level that the nibbling sensation against its skin is healing, not harm. The fish, too, take a massive gamble. Small river fish are constantly hunted by aquatic birds, kingfishers, and larger predatory fish. By congregating in the open shallows around a giant mammal, they expose themselves to airborne predators. Yet the calorie payoff of an infested zebra outweighs the constant threat of death from above. If you zoom out, this micro-battle between fish, ticks, and zebras holds up the structural integrity of the entire savanna ecosystem. Zebras are keystone grazers. They are the lawnmowers of the plains, eating the tough, fibrous upper layers of grass and clearing the way for smaller herbivores like gazelles and impalas to reach the tender shoots beneath. If tick populations surge unchecked, zebra herds collapse from disease and anemia. Without zebras clearing the tall grasslands, vegetation overgrows, fire risks skyrocket during the dry season, and smaller herbivores starve because they cannot process the thick, overgrown stalk layer. A tiny fish ripping a tick off a zebra's leg in a muddy riverbed is literally keeping the engine of the African plains running. In nature, nothing exists in isolation. Survival is rarely about pure brute strength, sharp claws, or lightning speed. Often, the difference between life and death comes down to an unspoken treaty forged between two creatures that inhabit completely different worlds. A terrestrial beast covered in stripes, and a tiny fish dwelling beneath the river mud. When the cleaning session is complete, the zebra steps out of the river onto dry land. Its coat is dripping, its skin is cleared of blood-sucking parasites, and its stamina is restored for another day of dodging lions and cheetahs. Deep beneath the surface, the school of tiny fish retreats back into the river shadows, well-fed and ready for the next weary traveler to step into their watery clinic. It is a grim, beautiful, and unforgiving reality. In a world governed by blood and hunger, even the smallest creature can hold the key to a giant survival.